Mike, you don't mind a direct question, do you? I can put a direct question.
No, not at all. I'm used to your direct question.
Exactly. 2026, Mike. Can Aston Martin win the Formula One World Championship?
Yes.
Big statement, Mike.
You said can. I said yes.
Yeah. All right. Will Aston Martin? Hello and welcome to The Fast and the Curious. You'll usually find us debriefing at the end of a race weekend or interviewing one of the biggest names in the sport, like a driver or a team principal. But sometimes we have to react to news in the world of Formula One that is just so big we can't possibly ignore it. And my name is Christian Hugill. Alongside me is our team principal, Greg James. Betty Glover is not here. She's on holiday. But despite Betty's absence, we simply couldn't ignore the big news that is going on in Formula One. It's massive. It's seismic. It might just change the sport forever. It is the fact that we've been on UK tea time quiz show, The Chase.
Which BBC drama series has featured head teachers called Jack, Kim and Karen? Past Waterloo Road. The Fast and the Curious is a podcast about what racing sport? F1, correct.
There we are. That's it. There's nothing else happening in Formula One today. That is the mention from Sir Bradley Walsh. Greg, where were you when you first heard the news?
I was on the toilet.
Were you actually?
That's where I always watch The Chase.
That's what Bradley would have wanted.
Well, it just brings it on. Whenever the Chase music starts on the telly, I have to rush upstairs quickly. For an evacuation, and I was amazed to see that we were featured on there. I think it's fantastic news.
That's brilliant.
It's been a wonderful journey to be on with you, and really that was the aim of the podcast.
To get on the chase.
We'd like to say thank you for watching and listening, and goodbye. This is the end.
Before we go,
yeah,
we should mention a bit of less significant Formula One news regarding Adrian Newey. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice a significant difference. And you might actually, even if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, just hear the difference. Just hear something's not. You'll be like,
what's going on? There's a little something.
Not the same. Yeah. It's because our studio is green.
Yes.
We're not announcing an extension to the Shrek musical or anything like that. We have turned it green because design genius, F1 legend Adrian Newey, probably the greatest person ever to design a Formula One car, is joining Aston Martin in 2025 with the official title of Managing Technical Partner.
Yes. So, by the way, Mike Krack is going to be on this episode. That's exciting. So stay tuned for
to
him.
React to the news.
So we're going to get him on for some reaction. Mike Krack, of course, is the team principal of Aston Martin.
Your counterpart at Aston Martin.
Yeah. So what was the title again?
Managing Technical Partner.
Right. So he's going to be the overlord of the design element of this new car.
He has come on board to focus on designing the 2026 car. And newer listeners to the podcast might not have heard me bang on about 2026. People have been with us a while, certainly will have. That's when there's the next big rule change in the sports. New rules, new engines, and it's always a bit of a reset. At the last reset, it was when Red Bull became more competitive, and we've seen it with Mercedes becoming more competitive, and the previous rule set to that, Red Bull becoming more competitive again. There's always a bit of a shake-up. So this is massive news from the world of Formula One. We did an emergency episode when he left Red Bull, where he's been for several years. But it can't be understated in F1 terms. This is a bloody big deal. Aston Martin put on a huge press conference earlier today to announce it. They're incredibly excited. It's all F1's talking about today.
Okay, I get that. It's exciting that there'll be a new design of all the cars in 2026. But I want you to get me excited for a 65-year-old, very talented man joining a team who at the moment aren't very good. Because you could argue that that's what we're celebrating. And he's being paid reportedly an extortionate amount of money.
Yeah, they've not had a good season. They've fallen back from where they were last season. Do you remember last season we were like, as Fernando Alonso was going on the podium and it was a huge story, and we're like, thank God for Aston Martin.
So is this desperation a bit? Is this a big roll of the dice? Like, oh my God, this is what have we got? We've got money let's try it.
No.
Okay.
It's not desperation. What it is the owner of Aston Martin, Lawrence Stroll, Lance's dad, who not just has, bought Aston Martin to Formula One, but saved the Aston Martin brand from going out of business. This guy, he is hugely ambitious. He has always said from minute one of buying this team, the team that's been Force India and Racing Point before that, I'm not here to poodle around in the midfield. I'm not here to win races. No interest in just winning races. I want to win world championships.
Right.
There's been big sort of signifiers of that. Signing Fernando Alonso. I've got the facilities and the investment. I've got deep pockets. Now I need the guy who's going to design the car. People will be going into 2026 going, it's an Adrian Newey car. It's the Honda engine. And this is another thing about Aston gearing themselves towards the front. They've got a technical partnership with Honda where Honda are focusing purely on them. That's massive. Honda have been a huge part of Red Bull's success. So this is them putting all the pieces together. And nothing guarantees success in Formula One.
No.
Nothing at all. But what I would like to do, Greg, is read you, and this always makes for thrilling audio, is read you a list.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the list?
Now, this is a list of every time an Adrian Newey car has won either the Constructors or the Drivers' Championship. 1992, 1993, 1994, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2021, 2022, 2023, and quite possibly 2024. So the reason this is such a big deal and people are making such a massive deal out of this is you can never guarantee success. Manchester United in football or soccer prove you cannot buy success. They've spent a shed load of money. But people like Pep Guardiola in football or soccer, where they've gone to different clubs in different eras and won, that's as close in sport as you're going to get. So Adrian has already done it with Williams. He's already done it with McLaren. He's already done it with Red Bull. This will probably be his big last thing in Formula One. It strikes me, you wouldn't put Aston Martin, given their resources, as a Bournemouth or a Leicester City, but you would put them at like a Tottenham Hotspur, a Newcastle United.
So this is Pep going to Spurs.
Yeah, this is Pep Guardiola going to Spurs. This is Adrian going, you know what? I want to be taking this team to the top. And if you look at the quotes he's come out with in this press conference today, he says he's joined Aston Martin to help lead them to the Formula One World Championship. Don't think that in 2026, Aston Martin winning a race will be seen as success. They want to win world championships. And I tell you what, this is probably the last chance Fernando Alonso is going to have.
That's going to be fun.
Finally win could he win a third championship in 2026, which is the last year of his contract? Massively. So, yeah. And Newey says he's impressed by the passion and commitment of Lawrence Stroll. I find Lawrence Stroll a really impressive guy. But
I'm impressed by the passion, commitment and cash of Lawrence Stroll.
do you want to talk about cash a minute?
I would like to, actually, because it's all secret, but there are rumours, aren't there? Strong rumours of the figure. 20 million a year is rumoured.
30 million a year.
30 million a year is what? I know. What's 10 million between friends? What's 10 million between billionaires?
Yeah. Now, I'm reading from the BBC Sport article here. The brilliant Andrew Benson. Andrew is one of these people in F1 that when he writes it is right. Andrew says that figure, barring Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris, is believed to be more than any of the drivers are earning. And in terms of British sporting figures, this puts Newey only behind Anthony Joshua, Rory McIlroy and Tyson Fury in terms of money earned. That is, you know what I was saying about you can't guarantee success? But this is what he's trying to do.
It's a big outlay. Isn't it?
Big outlay.
Big outlay.
Big outlay.
So more than any driver.
Other than
Lewis.
Rumours of Lewis, Lando and Max. Yeah.
Wow.
Big, big, big money.
I'm excited for it. I think it's a huge gamble. And also I wonder what Mike Krack's calling us. I can see Mike Krack calling. Should we answer him? Just say hi. Put your earpiece in. Let's take him live. Let's take him live. Let's take him live. Well, we can ask him. That's not Mike Krack. Is that Jess?
It is. Sorry, guys, to disappoint.
No, it's not disappointment. No. I mean, you're also in the team colours. Is Mike here?
Well, we've actually got the real Mike here now.
Hey,
The real Mike Krack is here.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Nice to see you again. Mike, for the benefit of the listeners, is now putting on his Aston Martin gilet.
It's a cold atmosphere here.
Yes, very.
Cold atmosphere, an ice cool atmosphere, Mike.
I'd say Jess was absolutely charming.
Mike, welcome back to The Fast and the Curious. The last time we spoke to you was at your Silverstone base last season at the British Grand Prix. Little did we know we'd be talking just over a year later as you welcome the great Adrian Newey to your team. How does it feel, Mike?
You see me smile, I suppose.
we can see you smile, all right.
We can see that smile.
I've been smiling since I had the news, which is already for a while. People look at me and say, "Why are you smiling all the time?" Now you know why. No, I think it's really a fantastic day for us. Having someone like Adrian in our team with that track record, with that record of world championships. It's a mega motivation for all of us, and I'm really looking forward to working together.
Yeah, we were just talking about the ins and the outs of it, and the practicalities of it, and we're talking about the money of it, and the enormity of the story. But all of that aside, it's a real statement of intent, isn't it? This is a big play from you guys at Aston Martin. How quickly does it come into action? I mean, is he going to be in the office from Monday? Is he going to be behind the scenes for a bit? How does it work practically for you lot?
Yeah, that would be nice if he was here from Monday onwards. But unfortunately, we have to stay patient. The start date is March, 1st of March. Or is that a Sunday? I think I'm not sure. We can also start on a Sunday. That's fine. But 1st of March. Until then, it is waiting. We have to do our job without him until then, and then try to get as much as possible, information. The 25 car will already be out of the door by then, but then it's about taking his input and trying to put it into a faster car going forward.
Mike, obviously he's going to be a huge part of the 2026 rule changes. We were talking about that on the podcast before you joined us. A couple of questions there. Even though, as you say, by the time he starts with the team, the 2025 car will be out the door, will he be able to help bring upgrades? We know how much the car's evolved throughout the season, and how much of the team's focus will go straight into 2026 from here on in.
Yeah, I think, everybody's a bit in the same boat in that regard, that you have to do a 25 car, but then at the same time a 26 car, because you need more time if the regs change as dramatic as they do. So and for us, the additional bit is that we have the new partner Honda to integrate with factory engine, but then also we do our own gearbox. We have Aramco as a partner, so there is more integration work to be done for us. But we must not neglect, obviously, the 25 car. So every team is setting a date when to stop and focus entirely on the 26. I don't think it will be by March. I think it will be a bit further down, maybe a couple of months, where you are still working on the 25 car, trying to do as good as possible in the second half of the season. But then at one point you have to decide, or you have to focus just on the 26 project if you want to be competitive then.
So it is possible he could have some input on the 25 car down the line, down into the season?
Well, I think yes. I mean, March is only the start of the season. The car is out, but that does not mean we cannot develop it from there. So we will have a couple of months where we can still take Adrian's input and make our car better.
I really enjoyed the teaser video of him locked in a warehouse with an easel, looking like he's already drawing that car for 2026. Has he already chatted to you about plans? Do you think he's already started sketching and brainstorming? What's his brain like? I don't know Adrian Newey very well. Is he already buzzing with ideas, or is he keeping it all quite close to his chest?
No, I think he's a very, very humble man that is not really affected by all the success that he was having so far. I think what is striking is the passion to do what he does, and that is something that you realize very quickly, how the eyes are lightening when you speak about car performance, making fast cars. That is really where the passion is, and that's something that is infecting all of us, I hope.
He feels like, for me, he feels, Christian, a bit like sort of slightly mad Sherlock Holmes type character who suddenly just maybe just over a pint just suddenly goes, I've got it.
A
And
light
then-
bulb moment above the
and then
head.
he'll just take a beer mat and he'll just sketch out this beautiful drawing of the 2026 car. And go, there, that's it. I've got it. I've got it. And then he'll call you immediately, Mike. I think he might just come up with it in the pub. It just feels like that. He feels for me like that kind of guy, I think.
So you wanna see the light bulbs on the top of the head?
Yeah. I do want to see that.
And him sketching on beer mats and
Yeah.
or on the back of, what in the past you'd have on the back of a cigarette paper.
Yeah, he'll be in a mind palace like Sherlock, just thinking with all the sums going around his head and just going, hang on, but if we use that drag there and we can use that wind tunnel and then, oh my God, I've got it.
You guys have a nice you have a lot of imagination, you guys. Yeah? I do not want to know what else you are thinking about.
Can you see the pluses and minuses physically emerge from above his head, Mike? Can you see the brain cogs?
And I will grab them. I will try to grab them one by one. Right?
Mike, obviously, Adrian announcing his departure from Red Bull earlier in the season was a huge...
That's good, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, Mike, say that again.
That was good, wasn't it?
What, when he left?
Yeah.
Well, it certainly was for you, as it's turned out. I mean, you've sort of, preempted my question, but obviously immediately everybody put two and two together and said he's going to go and follow Lewis to Ferrari, or there were links. When did Aston Martin officially throw the hat in the ring? And when did you as the boss start to think, hang on a minute, Lawrence, my boss, could get him here? When did it all start to think, actually, this could happen?
I think he was asked this question today, Lawrence, and he said from the moment that he was aware that Adrian was intending to leave, he went full steam ahead, to get him. And you see the determination. Lawrence does not do half things. He went full in and got him. I think there was a lot of competition to get him, and Lawrence managed once again to convince people to join us.
I think that's great. I really do respect that. He just sort of walked up with his big wacky checkbook and went, "Come on, how much? Let's go for it. Here's my ambition. Here's what I want with the team." But it's interesting because
I think there's many people with checkbooks.
No, I know there were.
Have you ever spoken to Lawrence Stroll?
No, I'd love to. I would love to.
I can see you haven't.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, tell us about Lawrence then. What would the approach have been like then? Because he would have set out his vision for the future, and his ambition is clearly enormous, isn't it, for this team?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years this was a piece of green land here with a small factory on. And he had a vision, and there's many people with nice visions and a lot of ideas, but there's very, very few people that put them into reality. And last Monday, the whole thing opened here, with his vision having become reality. It's not cheap. It was not cheap, but it's the same when it comes to, if he wants to recruit people like he did with Adrian. I think he can be very convincing, and everybody that he's speaking to him is just blown away by the passion and by he's very convincing character, and it's something that you feel like you have to join.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, this is one of the reasons I love sport, any sport, but particularly Formula One. Stories, mad stories.
And it's a huge story.
Mad big characters just making big plays and going, yeah, let's do that. That's fun. That's great. I think we can make this work, and it's going to make the sport even more exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Mike, you don't mind a direct question, do you? I can put a direct question.
No, not at all. I'm used to your direct question.
Exactly. 2026, Mike. Can Aston Martin win the Formula One World Championship?
Yes.
Big statement, Mike.
You said can. I said yes.
Yeah. All right. Will Aston Martin?
I think you need to be careful with such statements. Formula One is very, very hard competition, and you have to respect your competition if you want to do well. So it will be a hard fight. We will throw everything into it as that we have. But it is a big task. It is a big task for all of us. We have to be realistic. But I think we should not go into the season saying, we want to finish fifth.
Yeah. There's a lot of chat about 2026. We talk about it a lot with Christian and lots of other people on this podcast. But for you as a team principal, does it feel like a sort of factory reset, erase all settings and start again? Does it feel like it's going to be start from scratch, or do you think there will still be a similar looking grid?
I think the highest chances of mixing up the grid is if you change the rules, which is what's going to happen. But then I think the usual suspects will be at the front, because these are big teams with established structures. They know how to react to changes in regulations quite efficiently, and everybody has to catch up afterwards. So I think the teams that you see at the front now will be contenders in 26 as well. But we might have a surprise as well, maybe a green one. We have to see.
But that, Mike, it's fascinating to me, because I've been following this Aston Martin journey since Lawrence took over the team when it was Force India Racing Point. And obviously you've come on board. There's the factory, there's the announcement with Honda, because that's obviously such a key part of the 2026 regulations. The sport will go a bit more engine focused, shall we say. You've got, a statement driver in Fernando Alonso. Lance, I think, has had a good season. It feels like all the elements are there to me for Aston to take a step up. Do you need anything else now with Adrian's signing? Is there another, is there anything else you're looking to build this team? Or is this it now? Have you got everything in place to go and fight for world championships?
Yeah, I think, you must never stand still. So I think you will keep evolving the team. Maybe not every day with a famous name like today, or with a famous brand like Honda, but you have to continuously develop and change, bring in young people, because we also have a large amount of bright young engineers coming from uni with great ideas that you have. This is less in the media, but it is a very important bit as well. So you really need to bring all these people into the team, with fresh ideas, with fresh thoughts, and this process doesn't stop. So the teams will remain dynamic. The rules are changing, so it's something that it just doesn't stop.
Mike, Adrian has worked with the Dan Fallows, a big friend of our podcast. He's been on before. He's obviously going to be such a big part of your team. There's been rumours that part of what attracted him to Aston Martin was that you guys were able to say to him, almost, here's a blank piece of paper, design the team around you how you want. You've obviously got Dan there who he's worked with. How true are those rumours, Mike? Were you able to say to Adrian, do what you like, my friend, or was it not as simple as that?
I think there's some truth in it. When you want to be attractive to someone like that, you have to listen to what are his ideas, because I think we were competing also with other teams, and here it comes about you spoke about the checkbook, which I'm quite sure that is not the main driver. It is more about what impact can I have, how is the surroundings, how is our campus, how is it designed, is everything the way it should be, and I think mainly also what influence can I have on all of this. And I think we wanted to have Adrian Newey, and I think partly giving the freedom to design the role is part of what made it attractive.
I also get the impression that Adrian Newey is a man who obviously wants the challenge, but wants to help other younger engineers, younger designers to come through. So the opportunity to be at the top of that tree at a place like Aston Martin with all those people, I mean, there will be so many younger members of that of your team who will be so inspired working with him. That's a great, that makes the whole place more attractive to work for, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when the news was announced to the internally before we went external, you should have seen the faces and the applause that came. You see that really people are really looking forward to that collaboration, including myself. I think there is a great deal that you can learn from someone like that, and I'm looking forward to these discussions. First of all from all the experience, but then also this ingenuity to just think out of the box. That's something that we don't have every day.
Yeah, I like that side of this sport, and I guess when someone's achieved everything they wanted to achieve, they can just try and find some. They have to try and find some new things.
It's a new project.
Being that inspiring leader is quite cool. Similar for Lewis when he goes to Ferrari, there'll be loads of people being like, "Oh my God, I get to work with Lewis Hamilton. This is amazing." But I guess with Fernando, him working with Adrian, that's formidable.
I mean, that's a dream
Ridiculous.
team and a half, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it is, but you have the wrong helmet on the table there to speak about that, haven't you?
We've got Lando's helmet.
Yeah, well done.
But I'll tell you what we have got. We've got a little Fernando here.
Okay, put him on the middle and sit him on the cap.
Give me that.
Sit him on the cap, Mike says. Like, the team principal's wearing the cap.
Not you. Sit the driver next to the
sorry.
cap. We don't want to see you.
Being told off by Mike here.
Producer Jimmy will come in and we'll fix it. Sorry, Mike. There we go.
God.
Yeah, now it starts to be better.
There we go.
Well done.
Mike, you mentioned earlier that it was good when he announced he was leaving Red Bull. And I know you Formula One people are a very competitive people. How good does it feel to have beaten your rivals to Adrian's signature? Because it is a major coup for the team and you guys are winners. That must feel good, right?
Yeah.
That's my favourite answer ever. Yeah.
Have you had any correspondence with other teams where they've gone, oh, annoying, we were trying to get him?
No, we didn't. Oh, I didn't so far, and I do not expect any to be.
Oh, but you're going to be walking through the paddock in Baku with the biggest smile.
Yeah, like this.
Mike, honestly, it's been such a joy to chat to you. Thank you so much for taking your time on what is a really busy day to come on the podcast. We appreciate it. Our listeners appreciate it. We really enjoyed talking to you, Mike. You're so much fun. And we just wanted to say congratulations because it's a massive moment for the team and I hope you guys get to enjoy it because it's brilliant for the sport. It's a great thing. So huge congratulations, Mike.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And there he goes. Mike Krack, team principal of Aston Martin, who becomes the first team principal to actively tell you off, Greg, on
Fantastic.
the podcast.
No, well, James, it's always over hats, isn't it?
It's always over hats.
James Vowles told me off about wearing a Fast and Curious hat.
The one thing I will say, and I do have this attitude with all the teams when they complain about seeing other teams' merch, you send us a Fernando Alonso or Lance Stroll helmet, we'll display it.
Yeah, fair enough.
McLaren sent us that, Aston, so we'll get onto that. We'll demand one of those. How did you find speaking to Mike? I found that fascinating.
It's great.
I'm really interested in what you think of it all.
I love him. I mean, he's amazing. I was annoyed that I didn't call him Crackers.
Sure, okay,
well, maybe we'll get there.
Okay.
I thought maybe we need to do a face-to-face Crackers.
Face-to-face Crackers, yeah.
I think that is a good name for him. But I think he's great. I mean, you'll always wonder about these big sporting moves, how much the money comes into it. I mean, so part of me it was quite sad to hear that Adrian Newey was going to come back into the sport because I saw that lovely interview he did where he said, I want to spend some time with my wife in our camper van and going around France and just, not being flying around the world all year.
But these people are competitive.
Well, they're competitive and I guess you get addicted to it. And
Formula One, people get addicted to Formula One without question.
And you get flattered into these sorts of jobs, I guess, to a certain extent. So I do hope it works and I hope his wife's happy. And he can buy himself a Newey house.
Good, yeah, no, very good. I do enjoy
and a Newey
that.
car.
And a Newey car.
And a Newey tennis court, get that resurfaced.
A couple of things I want to mention.
Never be able to use it though, because he's always on the road. This is my worry about.
They never have nice houses because they're always away.
Mega rich people, I do worry about them because they have everything they want, but they never sit still to enjoy any of it because they're always trying to find the next thing. So he's got his lovely life sorted out, and he's like, I'm just going to fly around. I'm 65. Do you know what I mean?
I tell you what's interesting though. You mentioned about the money. I actually really do believe Mike when he says that that's not the biggest factor. Well, it might be a huge factor, of course. Let's not kid ourselves.
Huge comedy check.
Apparently, one of the things that bear in mind when Red Bull came into the sport, this is a drinks brand. One of the big things,
and a disgusting drink at that.
I don't mind Red Bull, but that's that we've been through this on the podcast before. But one of the things that attracted him to Red Bull was they turned around and went, "Do what you like." And I actually think that point we asked Mike about there of, he was linked with Ferrari, he was linked with other teams, but these teams, a lot of them will already have systems in place. And I think a big part of it is Aston Martin saying, you do what you want to do. If you want to rip up the existing structure and start it again, we will do that for you. Not every team is able to do that. New factory, new start. It's almost like shiny new project for me to get my head round.
Yeah.
And I tell you a question that I'd like to deal with that I've seen a lot around social media is the cost cap. So we speak a lot on this podcast about the teams are limited on what they can spend. The cost cap does not count towards your top 3 employees.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
that is interesting.
Typically, that includes the team principal, technical director, and one other
So that's Crackers,
employee.
That's Adrian Newey House.
So this is
and
why.
Who else?
Well, I mean, it's impossible to say team to team, but it's typically the top 3. So that is why Lawrence is able to sort of break the bank to do that.
Wow.
Because you can sort of offset it against that top 3 rule. That's been spoken about hugely.
Well, I'm quite pleased about that because at least it means that some of the more junior engineers aren't going to be on a sort of 0 hours contract at the other end of it and working in a sweatshop.
They'll still be staffing, they'll still be stocking the canteen very well. They're not going to have to cut corners, like it's not going to be charged for parking all of a sudden. Yeah. Before we go, now that we've dealt with the big news, we should also deal with NordVPN.
Worst segue ever, but great.
I thought it was quite smooth because it
Mm-hmm.
is an absolute must to keep sports fans up to date with breaking news like this. Because if you're away and wanted to check your favourite news provider, you could change your virtual location to make sure your newsfeed and streaming sites are exactly the same as they are at home. And on a day like this, Greg, you need information quickly.
Yeah, of course.
And NordVPN is the fastest VPN in the world.
Wow.
So there's no buffering or annoying lags while streaming because you just never miss a thing. And that is essential on days like this when there's breaking news, you need to be on it.
Do you know what's just occurred to me as well?
What?
It's actually super safe because...
As in, safe as in, is it, so I have a
Well,
question.
let me finish.
Well, no, I really must insist on jumping in. Safe as in safe or safe as in that is safe?
Both.
There was an audible sigh from the sound people at the back of the studio.
I'm not surprised. It's super safe
I'm
in
still not-
the traditional sense.
In the traditional sense, right?
Because
Sure.
NordVPN protects your data when you're using public Wi-Fi, wherever you are in the world. So to get a discount off NordVPN, the best discount as well,
The very best, you'd say.
go to nordvpn.com/the fast and the curious, which is abbreviated to TFATC. nordvpn.com/TFATC. The link will give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's a no risk element to this as well, because Nord have got a 30-day money back guarantee. The link is in the description of this episode.
Before we go, I have a point of order to raise.
Do you want to apologise for what you just did?
Really quickly? Yes, I would.
Yeah, thank you.
I would like to apologise for the safe gag. Even by my standards, that was low. So I'd like to
And,
apologise.
come on.
Also, we're going to be back next time with the Baku debrief.
Well, I will be. I don't know about you.
Okay, well,
Might get Jess from Aston Martin on. She's much more competent.
my birthday sort of celebrations are the night before. So I'm sort of asking the team principal's permission. All I'd say is you haven't got any other drivers at the moment. Betty's on holiday. So before you make a decision, do you mind if I'm a touch hungover for that episode?
No, that's fine.
Great.
It would be great.
Okay, great. So join us next time for a slightly hungover Baku debrief. That will be straight after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Makes sense, doesn't it? Please make sure you follow us on social media. We are Fast Curious Pod. Thank you to Aston Martin and to Mike Krack. Thank you to you, Greg James, team principal.
And a Baku birthday to you.
And you thought the safe gag was bad. That's all from us. Bye-bye now.